What's up everyone, Vu of Vu Films, and I am back with another idiotic video for you to watch. And today's video is idiotic because I am about to copy Daniel Schiffer's B-roll. Yes, I went ahead and said that I copied Daniel Schiffer's B-roll before anyone in the comments could. And yes, I was definitely influenced or inspired by it. I definitely didn't spend as much time as he did. I spent only, I believe, 8 to 10 minutes. That's all the time I had. I was actually filming 19 other just standard unboxing videos for that company's website. And we also decided to do a 30-second promo, which that was. And I really only had a solid 10 minutes to do it, so that was something really quick. It was done really quick, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely inspired or influenced by what Daniel Schiffer has been doing on YouTube for the past 6 months to a year or so. But to be honest, I think James Matthews probably did like the first BTS B-roll of those kinds of things, and even before him, those kinds of transitions, editing style, sound design type transitional, you know what I'm talking about, came from travel videos. You know, most popular, most recent is Sam Coulter, Ben TK, J.R. Ali, but even before that was this guy that did the Watchtower of Turkey back in 2013. If you've never seen that video, watch that video, and that video probably inspired all of these modern day whoosh transition type videos. But let's get to the topic at hand, which is this Sigma 2470 DG DN. DN stands for D's nuts, mainly because of the weight. But anyway, that entire sequence I did, out of the various lenses I own, 35mm, 24mm, 55mm prime lenses, this has been the best one, in my opinion, for running gun shooting and handheld work that I've experienced. And it doesn't even have lens stabilization built in. All you really, could rely on is Sony's IBIS, which is pretty much complete trash, but I guess it helps a little bit. And the number one reason why it is such a good handheld lens, and it was a blast to use when I did that B-roll sequence. So the weight of this lens, if you use a lighter lens, say like, I don't know, this is like a 55mm, it's light, right? So any shake that you have, it shows because there's not as much gravity to help hold the lens down. When you shoot the lens of the weight with a good girth to it, a good nice thick girth, you hold it and you let it rest on your hand like so, and you just let gravity do the work and hold it. So that's one, the weight. The heavier the lens, the easier it is to use for handheld video shooting. Why 2470 GM is not a good choice? It is a good choice for handheld work, but it's also a solid $1,000 more expensive than this lens, which means it is about 20 trillion Vietnamese dollars. Very expensive. And this pretty much performs the same as the GM or better. And when I say better, I mean it is sharper 35mm to 70mm, and it has a better close focusing distance, which means you could do borderline macro-ish type work with this lens, which even makes it a better run and gun lens to use in most or all situations. Other things that are very helpful, especially when you're shooting like certain like B-roll sequences like the one I did, was a lot of times you could do some autofocusing, but you also need to switch to manual focus to be able to hone in on your focus, which I actually missed quite a bit. In my opinion, I would have wanted to be able to go back and reshoot some of those things, but I just had to keep moving because of time limitations. I couldn't really hone in on the exact focusing one, but because it was moving so fast, it's slightly out of focus, but I felt like it was usable. But anyway, you can toggle manual focus, autofocus, and of course, right away, right here. So it's like, okay, you get the focus set, hit manual focus, and then you control it, and you get your shot do what you have to do with it. Yeah, and obviously the zoom range, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot more versatile to be able to use a nice 24 to 70 zoom range when you're doing run and gun shooting, such as handheld B-roll or handheld A-roll that was mixing with B-roll, whatever you want to call it, for whether client work or just, you know, stuff you want to do for your YouTube channel or whatever. And then of course some of you was asked, well, the Tamron 2875 is good. Well, 28 millimeters is not wide enough to get some of these really nice sweeping shots like this one. So that was done at 24 mil. And the Tamron is lighter. And yes, lightness is a good thing when you're carrying in your backpack, but lightness isn't always the best thing when you're trying to do handheld work. And I'm not saying you cannot do handheld work with 2875. Plenty of guys do handheld work with the 2875 Tamron, doing a great job. But I could guarantee you that if they had a 2470 Sigma with this extra weight, it would have been a lot easier, a lot better. And even like longer range, like 70 millimeters, you could just hold it out like this and it is completely steady. So yes, guys, I mean, my past few videos, I've been always saying like, yo, this lens is amazing, but this is coming from a guy who's been using this for the past 2 months straight on like weddings, commercial corporate work like the one I just showed you. I've been using it every day. I even shot some photos with it today. I mean, it has been used nonstop by me this past couple months, and I cannot recommend it enough. Obviously, I bought some lenses of my own. It's not even a sponsored thing. Like, I'm just telling you, this is probably a must-buy lens for anyone with the Sony a7 III, a7R3, R4, and a7 IV, a7S III when those come out in the year 2023. And one of the other things is just the way it's built, the way it fits in the hand. It's a little bit more like stumpy, where the GM is a little bit longer, so it has a really nice feel to it. It's definitely slightly front heavy, but I think for a 2470 lens on a small body like this a7 III, it feels really good, and it's just very easy to maneuver and do your handheld movements. I cannot recommend this enough, guys. I don't want to have to repeat myself constantly, but it is the best 2470 for you to buy for the Sony email assist. It's basically the same exact lens as a GM, except you could focus closer. It is $300 more expensive than the Tamron 2875, but you get the more versatile 24 millimeters and an overall better lens. Optically, it is a lot sharper throughout the range, f4, f5, and 11 aperture blades, so the bokeh is super smooth. There's, you know, it's my previous video that I'll link up here where I took pictures. Like, the bokeh is very comparable to prime lenses, and it to me it is enough for subject separation. F2.8 is more than enough on a full frame lens. So that is that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the B-roll sequence I did with the Sigma 2470. I don't know if you want me to maybe break down how I edited it, you know, less than ideal footage for that video. Let me know in the comments below. But here it is again. Until next time, lighten up.